What's up guys, it's Adam FPL and welcome back to another video here on my channel. Now, as many of you guys know, it's a double game week 26. I think it's the biggest double game week in FPL history, so it's a season defining game week. And yeah, so I'm going to kind of in this video fly through my points in game week 25 and get to what you guys want to see, my game week 26 team selection, what my transfers are going to look like for the double game week and who I'm bringing in, and what my plan for my chips is going to look like for this game week and for the future game week. So as always, if you guys enjoy the video, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the season. And yeah, let's get into my points for game week 25. So in game week 25, as you guys can see, I got 79 points with a game week rank of 768,000 about. So inside the top 1 million, which is always good as I tell you guys. And yeah, my overall rank jumped up about 18k to 148k, which is my highest rank of the season. And hopefully in the next coming weeks, I can kind of stay around this area and push into the top 100k, as that would be great. And that's kind of what I'm looking forward to with this big double game week and with these game weeks to come. So let's go to the team, and as you guys can see, most of the points this week came from the defense with everyone returning. So Lowton and Pope from Burnley got a lucky clean sheet against West Brom. And in fact, Lowton was on 3 bonus points before he got a late yellow card and committed a couple fouls, which dropped him down to 1 point. But I'm really happy that I got a lucky clean sheet here. The Man City guys, Stones and Cancelo, got an easy clean sheet against Arsenal. These guys are just phenomenal this season. When they play, it's almost as guaranteed of a clean sheet as you can think of with these Man City guys. Arsenal never really looked that threatening. We have Dallas, who got a huge 17-pointer, star of my game week probably. He got a 2-pointer and blanked in the first game of the double, but then he did amazing against Southampton where Leeds ran rampant. He got a goal, he got a clean sheet and 3 bonus points. Really like Stuart Dallas. He's like my mini Lundstram this season. He's just so fun to watch. In the midfield is kind of where things dried up. The big guys kind of blanked for me except Bruno, so Salah, Gundogan, and Son all blanked. These guys it's kind of surprising when the premiums blank, but lately it seems like they have more than they have late ever. But Fernandes continues to take along, and yeah, so if we go to his game, he got a dodgy assist, I think, against Newcastle and a penalty. So other than that, I'm hoping these guys save their points for the double game week 26. Bamford captain worked out. He got a blank in the first game as well. He scored, but it was offsides, and he got a goal against Southampton. So 8 points doubled to 16, and it kind of worked out perfectly as many people triple captained him. So it's not like I lost out on too much, but I also got a return. Watkins with a 2-pointer had a tough game against Leicester, and I benched everyone correctly except Antonio, but I was never really going to play him because he had that flag all week. Moyes was kind of being sneaky with him in the press conferences and said that he wasn't sure if he was going to play, but he ended up playing and scored an early goal against Spurs, but there's nothing I could do about that. You can't win them all. And I probably would have played him over Watkins if I knew he was fit, but it is what it is. So that's kind of the review for Game Week 25. Let's go into my team selection for Game Week 26. So in Game Week 26, it's a double game week, and I already have a team full of double game week players, even without any transfers. So I have 2 free transfers this week, and I'm looking forward to bench boosting in Game Week 26, and here's why. So I want to play the bench boost because it's best to play in a double game week, and this is the last big double game week of the season. I don't want a wild card for it because I think that wild card and bench boost kind of is a bad combination and misleading, as bench boost is the worst chip and can really mess up your team and leave you a lot of money on the bench. And I really want to save my wild card for the last few game weeks of the season. So I've kind of been thinking about this bench boost, kind of building for it these next few weeks, and I'm looking to take a couple hits if that's what it takes to get a decent bench out there to bench boost and get this chip out of the way. In a double game week where hits will be flying around, I think that this is fine, and I think that with this bench boost, it's best to play in a double game week, even if the fixtures aren't the best or if you're bench boosting a couple single game week players, because in a single game week, if you bench boost, you may need your auto subs, and then the bench boost value is kind of negated. So let's go through this team quickly, and then we'll go to my transfer page. So in this team, we have a team full of double game weekers. We have Martinez, who has decent fixtures against Leeds and Sheffield, playing him over Pope, even though Pope has a double, as Pope has much harder fixtures to keep clean sheets in, and I already have Lowton for cover. So we have the 3 City guys against West Ham and Wolves. I don't think all these 3 will play both games. I especially think Cancelo will get rested in one, and maybe even Stones. Gundogan, I hope he plays in both of them. Maybe not the full 180, but they should play. These guys should be playing. They're kind of talisman of their teams. I'm happy to have them. Right now the captain's on Bruno, but I'll talk about captaincy a little bit later in the video. These Salah and Bruno both have a tough fixture against Chelsea, and then one really easy fixture here with Sheffield and Crystal Palace. Son has two easy fixtures with Burnley and Fulham on paper. Yeah, I have to take care of Grealish if I want a bench boost, and staying with Justin, as both these guys look like they're going to be out, with Grealish at least out for the Leeds game, and I want to have a double game week player in here. I'm happy with these guys, and yeah, I'm going to be bench boosting Pope and Dallas at least. So let's go to my transfer page, and let's talk through my options. So I have three options. The first option is kind of the way I'm leaning at the moment, and it's to get Kane for a minus 8-point hit and bench boost. So in order to do this, by the way, I would do this getting Kane without dropping any of these premium assets, Son, Fernandes, and Salah, which seems really nice to me as I'm already taking a minus 8, and if I had to drop one of these guys, it would seem a lot more less desirable. It would seem a lot less desirable, rather. So we get Kane in here for Antonio. We get a nice enabler here in Lookman, who has a double game week that's decent against Palace and Tottenham, and also plays in 29. We get a defender here that we have to get for 4.4 because, as you guys can see in a second here, I'm going to be getting Areola as the other keeper. And this is the only way I can do it without taking out a premium. So it would be a minus 8, and I'd have a double game week goalie here to bench boost with. I'd bench boost Areola, White, Dallas, and Bamford. Leeds have a decent fixture against Villa. White has a decent fixture against West Brom to keep it clean, possibly. He's nailed. And he plays in 29. And also these guys play in 29. So immediately with this plan, I would have 8 double game week players out of it. And I could use my other transfers in the next 3 game weeks to attack double game week 28 possibly for Villa and Everton, or get 29 players. So I like this plan, and this is the current way I'm leaning towards. Kane is the best captaincy option on paper right now at the moment. With Burnley and Fulham, these really seem like Kane games, and I think getting Kane in is nice. The only problem is it would kind of make me reliant on Spurs a lot this week, and I'd probably be captaining Kane, but everyone's kind of taking risks this week, and this is kind of the risk I'm going to be taking. As you guys can see, there's nothing in the bank with this plan, and I'm going to have to do these transfers tonight to avoid price rises and price drops. The second option we could do is to get no Kane and to get Dominic Calvert-Lewin in, who I also believe is just as good of an option pretty much. So we get Calvert-Lewin in here, we get someone like Harvey Barnes, and we get someone like a Spurs defender like Dyer, who I would hope would play both games, and I think he is the least rotation risk player on Spurs, even though there is a lot of rotation on that Spurs defense, but I think Mourinho kind of likes him, and I think he'll be playing for the most part. Kind of had nothing here and nothing here, but I think he might have been injured for either one or both of those games. So I think Dyer at 4.9 could be a good option, and as also I'd have nothing in the bank with this. I could also downgrade Barnes here and go Lookman as an enabler and go Digne. Perhaps that's a little bit better. Then I'd also be relying on Everton a lot, who are pretty much hit or miss this year. This is another option I kind of like, but as you can see, I'd be bench boosting Pope, Dallas, Loughton, and Bamford, which isn't the best bench boost because Burnley have really 2 tough fixtures where I don't see them keeping a clean sheet in, so the bench boost would kind of be a low ceiling there, and I'd be relying on these Leeds guys. But this is another option. And the third option I have is to get Kane in, but drop a premium midfielder. So I could drop someone like Mo Salah or Bruno Fernandes. In this case, we can do Salah, and I'd get someone like Harvey Barnes. But I'd also have to take care of Grealish and Justin, and that'd be for a minus 8. And I'd be losing Salah. So this is kind of why I don't really like this plan, as it kind of makes the minus 8 even more riskier than the first option would be, for example. So, as I said before, I'm kind of leaning at the moment towards getting in the first option, which I'll put up on screen again here. Apologies if I'm doing that kind of fast, and my thoughts are kind of scattered a little bit on this transfer page, but I hope you guys can all follow this. So, with this option, nothing in the bank, so I'd be doing this tonight. A minus 8-point hit, but with the bench boost and play in a double game week where many people are going to be taking hits, I think that's a little bit more justified. I get to keep the premium guys in midfield, and I get Kane in, and I can bench boost a double game week goalie with Ben White, Lookman, Ben White, Dallas, and Bamford. 2 good fixtures for Leeds there with a depleted Aston Villa side. White with West Brom, where he has great potential to keep it clean, and Areola with 2 games where I'd hope for some points there. So I like this option because it also sets me up well in the coming game weeks. So as you can see with these fixtures for Tottenham, they have Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Villa, Tottenham plays in blank game week 29 by the way, and they have these really nice 4 fixtures out of the double game week. The thing I don't like about the Everton option is that if I got DCL and Digne in, I'd be really kind of relying on this week, and I'd be kind of worried about next week because they'd be playing Chelsea. My Leeds guys play West Ham. My Fulham guys play Liverpool and City in the next 2 weeks, so it wouldn't look good fixtures-wise for my team next week, and Fernandes plays City. So that's the thing, is that kind of would be less set up for the next coming game weeks with the Everton guys. But the good thing is I can also, with this plan, is I can also go for these Everton guys in game week 28 if they double. I can take out someone like Mo Salah, who has Wolves, who are a defensively solid team most weeks, and he also blanks in 29. So I could take out Salah and go for someone like Jack Grealish if he's back fit, and take out someone in the defense that doesn't play in 29, like Loughton, and go to someone like Luka Dean, and really attack those double game week upside fixtures for game week 28. And in the meantime, I could also use a transfer to get out another player for blank game week 29. But I already have 8 players for game week 29 with this, and most of them are going to be the top players that most people are going to be targeting. So I kind of like this plan. So yeah, this is kind of my thoughts at the moment with these 3 transfer options. Hopefully you guys can follow all that. And I kind of wanted to talk about one more thing here before captaincy, and talk about Kane versus DCL. So the pros and cons of both, if we look at those 2 forwards here, they are within the top 4 scoring forwards of the season, along with Bamford and Vardy, who are both also good options. With Kane, the pros for Kane are he's on penalties, as we all know. He's kind of been on some decent form when he's been playing, other than these blanks against tough fixtures like City, West Ham, and Liverpool, where he had only 45 minutes, and Brighton he was injured, and Chelsea is also a really tough fixture. So he's done well in the other ones. He's got a goal against West Brom here, goal against Sheffield and Fulham, and Leeds. And this really goes to show that Kane's record against the bottom 8 sides this year have been really good. He actually hasn't blanked once this season. He's on penalties, and with this is a low ownership of 30%. He even becomes a slight differential, more so than in most years where he's going to be way higher owned. For comparison, Son is over 50% owned, and having both of these where it could potentially pay off hugely if they kind of assist each other and score, which they usually normally do for a lot of Tottenham's goals. The other nice thing about Kane, as I mentioned earlier, is his fixtures coming out of the double game week. With these 2 nice fixtures on paper, these seem like Kane games, 2 low block teams that won't give too much space to run in behind for the likes of Son, and they concede a lot. They like to allow a lot of shots from outside the box, which is suitable for Kane. And teams can go at them and kind of use their talent and kind of make some chances happen. So I like these fixtures also coming out of the double for Kane with Crystal Palace, Arsenal, Villa, and Newcastle. Mind you, he also plays in 29, so I'd be adding another blank game week player if I got him in, or if you guys got him in. The cons of Kane is he's a bit expensive, and you're also over-relying kind of a little bit on Spurs to do well. Given their form has been poor lately, you're relying on Kane and Son to do well. And these 2 teams are they're known to be kind of improving defensively in these past few weeks. Then again, they also have played weak opposition. So it's kind of a pick your poison here. I think that Kane has a lot of pros, but he also has a couple of cons. With DCL, the other option people are considering this week, I think that the good things about DCL is he's got the best double game week on paper. Well, not on paper. I think he's just got the best double game week out of any team this week. Southampton, without Oriol Romeu and Kyle Walker-Peters, are a really depleted side who are in horrible form right now. They've been leaking in goals like crazy. Their confidence is low, and West Brom are one of the worst teams in the league all season this season. So I think that he has the best double game week by far, and I think that he has the potential to explode. So that's the positives with Calvert-Lewin. The negatives, of course, is Everton and him are kind of a hit or miss side kind of all season. So Everton have lost to teams like Newcastle and Fulham, but they've beaten teams like Liverpool and stuff like that. So I think that Everton, you either get really lucky and they do amazingly for you and you shoot up the ranks, or they do bad and they kind of destroy your rank as the other guys are more kind of safer point getters. But with Calvert-Lewin, he does have some huge hauls. He has a hat-trick against West Brom earlier in the season. And yeah, Southampton are horrible right now. If we kind of pull up some defensive stats from understat.com, we see that Southampton, since January 19th, out of all teams, have had the worst expected goals against, and West Brom are also up there as well. And Everton, we're going to have some confidence from that Liverpool game, so I think that this is a prime time to jump on Calvert-Lewin if you can't afford Kane. Conclusion out of this Kane versus DCL argument is I think you can't really go wrong with both. He also doubles in game week 28, potentially according to Ben Carlton's spreadsheet, which is also a nice thing to have as you're getting essentially 5 fixtures in the next 3 weeks. So I really like these Everton guys, and if I had to pick one, maybe if you didn't have a Spurs asset, I'd go for Kane, and if you kind of wanted a differential pick to kind of potentially explode you up the ranks, I think that Calvert-Lewin is just as good of an option. So that's kind of my take on the Kane versus DCL thing. And last thing I wanted to ask you guys is, or talk to you about, is captaincy. So, as always, you're going to want to captain a double game week player in a double game week. And I think that in my team right now, I'd probably be between Fernandes and Salah. So Gundogan may not play both games. We know how Pep Roulette is really weird sometimes. And Fernandes can basically get points against anyone, as we've seen this season. It doesn't matter the fixture. He's pretty much fixture proof. But the one concerning thing about him being captained is he has this Chelsea game. So Chelsea have been the informed defense of late. And even though they've played weak opposition, I'm a Chelsea fan, and by the eye test, I've seen that they basically are quite tight defensively. They just beat Atletico, one of the better teams in Europe, and I think that Chelsea under Tuchel don't give up many chances at all, and I think that United also play very cautious against big teams, so this could be a cagey game. The plus is he has Crystal Palace, who on that understat graphic I pulled up in the video in a few minutes ago. Crystal Palace are among the worst defensive sides in the past month or so. So I think that Fernandes, you're basically hoping for not much in this first game, but Crystal Palace he could do very well, and he'll definitely be the most captain, so he's a safe pick to go for. Salah has also one tough game and one easy game, like I said with Chelsea, and he goes up against a depleted Sheffield defense, but I think that Salah with Liverpool's recent form may kind of be a little bit putting off for me, but Salah is the Egyptian king. I wouldn't be getting rid of him this week, and he can explode any week, and with 2 games, it'd be really risky going without him. But I think he's definitely up there for captaincy. Now, Son here, I probably wouldn't captain Son because Son's been really off form lately. If we can see, he's had 2 kind of decent returns, but it's been a lot of 2s and 3-pointers. He's been hugging the touchline more often, and he hasn't been getting into those dangerous positions. So I wouldn't captain Son probably. So the best captains for me would probably be Kane, as he has the penalties, and those are more Kane games, as I said on the transfer segment. I'd go for Kane, Calvert-Lewin if you want a differential pick, or Fernandes. So basically, Kane, DCL, and Bruno are my top 3 captains. And yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up the video, guys. Tell me in the comments what you guys think of my transfer plans and who I should go for. And also be sure to let me know who are you guys going for in the double game week. Who are you guys captaining? What chips are you guys using? Any questions you guys have about who you should bring in last minute? I know this video is kind of late in the week, but I needed a lot of time to think about what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap up the video, and I'll see you guys on the other side of the game week, and good luck. Bye.